Greetings, dear ones, and welcome back. So, at this moment in time, there is a great portal for healing opening for us. And this is because that between March 9 to 15, Jupiter conjunct Chiron. And this last time this happened was in 2009. So, right now, there is a great opportunity for us to move even deeper into get access to a deep layer of our wounds, our core wounds. And so because this is taking place, we are now able to end a healing cycle and move beyond, and this karmic cycle that this wound and the cause of the wound is causing. And so Chiron being the wounded healer, and I will talk a little bit more about Chiron very short because it's a long story short, derives from the Greek mythology, and being an archetype, Chiron was he was a centaur, half man, half god, and he was, as the centaur are always, they're very good at with arrow and bow, so he's always, many times pictured with his bow and arrow. And Jupiter being the planet of expansion, meaning, and wisdom. So when the two of them meet, there is such a great potential for us to move into the deep layers of our wounds with meaning, with a new sense of wisdom. And because this expansion of Jupiter opens up this portal. So what I was shown this morning, and this is why I came on, is that the energies of Jupiter open up this portal, and Chiron is able to point his arrow and allow this arrow to go deep into the wound. So what happens is that when this happens, of course, the presence of the wound will become more obvious for us then to be able to heal it. So I will talk a little bit about Chiron. So Chiron being this half man, half god, was injured in his leg by one of his own arrows that was actually poisoned. And that poison was, if you got it in your body, you will die immediately. But since he was immortal, being half god, he could not die, so he was in this ending loop of suffer and pain. And all he wanted is to be released from his immortality, to be able to move beyond the pain and suffering, but he wasn't. And so accepting this state he was in, as I said, make a long story short, he met Prometheus, and Prometheus was in a very uncomfortable situation. He was tied to a rock, and every night there was an eagle coming, or raven, there's different stories, to eat from his liver. And of course this was very painful, and every time the sun set in, or the sun rose in the morning, his liver was growing back together, and this kept repeating, and he was in so much pain. And he said to Chiron, can you liberate me from this pain? And Chiron being in pain himself and knew that there was no escape, he said, okay, I will take on your suffer, because you can be free and you have a life to live, but I can't be free from this, so I will take on your pain as well. And so he did. And then Zeus, the god Zeus, saw this and thought it was very noble of him, so he said, I will liberate you. And he brought him, he liberated him from his physical form, and he then threw him up to the sky, into the sky, and in the sky he became the star constellation of Sagittarius, and that's where he's at now, and or always watching over us, guiding us, and freed from his pain. So the symbolism in this, I think, me being in this field and have experienced very much pain myself, as we all have, right? Chiron is very dear to my heart, and the teachings and the lessons and the guidance of Chiron. And so what it says is that we are humans, but we are divine as well. And being a human, we will experience pain, we will go through suffer. And as long as we try to escape it, or we keep any resistance from the experience, our emotions, there will always be suffer. So for me, this Chiron taking on Prometheus' pain, it's not that we are supposed to take on another person's pain. It's not at all what it's mean. It is by accepting our pain, to surrender to the pain, not dwell in it, not dwell in the stories and the victimhood of it, but to be with the energies, not fighting it, allowing it to rise, and to be willing to go deeper into it, to fully surrender. Because my experience is that there is no other way out but totally surrender. So there can be pain without suffer. There can be pain without suffer. And this is my first-hand experience. And so when we let go of the stories, and when we totally identified with the divine aspects in us, that is immortal, that is beyond the rise and fall of emotions, of events, of situations, and thoughts, when we surrender into this eternal aspect of us and shine the light on our human experiences, this is when we are liberated from the suffer. This is when Zeus, as a symbol, frees us from this loop of suffer. So there is no escape, there is no way out of it by surrender. And not surrender in that sense of, okay, I'm stuck in this, but surrender to our true self, to our true nature, to the light that we are, to the eternal self that is untouched, but by the pain, by the experiences, by the stories and emotions that is triggered by the stories in our minds. So this is, if we are willing, such a beautiful time for us to be willing to go even deeper, to allow this portal to open. So what I see is like these clouds are moving apart, and Chiron is able to really point his arrow deep into our wounds for us to acknowledge them deeply. And we are not left there. We are not left. When we have the courage to feel fully, to be very present with what is, and not go into the traps of trying to understand, trying to analyze or find a solution, but just be very present. As an energy, it's just energy. Don't fear it. And the fear is the greatest resistance. So there might be fear without resistance. So when we allow this courageous heart of ours to guide us even though there is fear, and lean into the fear and beyond. And remember, it's just energies. Energies cannot hurt me. We will move beyond the suffer. And that is such a transformative experience. And that's how we free ourselves. And with the guidance from those around us, from Chiron, from our family of light, we are being guided, but they cannot do it for us. We are the ones. So if you are willing at this time, it is a great opportunity. So we will move into a transmission. And just feel into this Chiron presence, who is now gifting you with the art of surrender. Surrender to what you for so long have been resisting, what you have tried to escape from, what you have feared, what you have tried to treat yourself from or numb out of. Because it is your key to freedom. So stop running, dear one, and just be still for a moment as the clouds are parting. And allow the arrow of Chiron. And this takes courage. Open up your weakest spots as this arrow goes deep into your wounds. Because as Chiron says, what you stop resisting is your liberation. Surrender completely. Accept your immortality. Accept your divinity, that you forever are, that nothing can change the eternal spark that you are. And embrace your human experience in the light of your true eternal self. And breathe. Shantarana Santarana Shantarana Korosantoronoshu. And Kinkarina Shantar Isoroko Shanai. Kistoronosh Ayakanaya Sataranai. So this is a transmission to help us to stop escaping whatever mechanisms we use, consciously or unconsciously, to prevent this arrow to hit us deep, to let go of them, and to fully be open and fully be receptive. So really feel as you open up your field. So because these wounded aspects in us are the ones we try to protect and try to escape from. But at this time, dear ones, just open up and don't hide it. Don't try to protect it anymore, because it holds the key to liberation. It's through this you recognize who you are. It's through this you recognize that the pain and the wounds are not you. They do not define you, and that you are beyond. This is how we are recreated and reborn in physical form in this lifetime as our true self. Shantarantaya karana santarai ikurso shokai liriki karana, lean into, bit by bit, surrender into. Shuntoro shantara kikororo santara ikorono shantara simuro shan e kirarana. Become very still and bring all of you to this moment, powerful now moment. Shai sur shai kinkara santarar. Elodro no shan arya santara kikoro shanaya. Minoro shanti sholorosha. Istor istosh ayakai. So what Chiron shares is when the arrow hits you and go deep, it also brings the solution, it brings the other side of it, is the healing. There is no wound without the cure. There is no poison without the cure. It comes as one, but it is up to you if you're willing to discover the potential it holds for you. Because it's the rising and the surrendering, it's the surrendering into the fire and the rising from the ashes that will show you your true self. And it is by recognizing your journey into the fire and up from the ashes that has to do with your soul's purpose, with what you are here to share. You can always only share your own. Your own rebirth. Sinta Shaliro Shonkoronashan. Sintoro Shantara, your awakening to who you truly are. Etan Shantaraya Koronoshuns. And when you do, you give others permission to do the same. Nitra Shantaraya Kashanai. Your gift is your resurrection. E corso shonoro shana kikaranashan. Elur o tantaranaya kanai. And this is the rising of Chiron up into the skies, the symbol of this rising in consciousness. Corso sho koroshonor, eternal, tushonoro, birthing the stars that we are, and taking your place among the stars in the sky. Shotoro no shos. And I send you so much love and blessings for you on your journey. Thank you.